All right, guys, how are we doing?
Yeah, we're
All
good.
good.
Very good.
Good.
Great. Obviously, we're again joined by, alongside me, Quaz Francis, joined by Daniel and Jay as well for this edition of Views from the East End. I think this particular topic for me has made me very, very, I guess, angry and sad as well. I think today we woke up to news of a mass shooting in New Zealand, which involved over 40 people in a mosque being shot dead by a lunatic, really. Obviously, the news broke early hours of this morning, and that's the first thing I saw on the turned on Sky News. I didn't really find out too much about what happened until later on, but it is definitely one of the most disturbing things I've seen in ages. I mean, guys, what are we making of this madness, really?
It's a madness. That's what we're making of it. It's a madness. I mean, when I first saw the video, I was like, "What the heck, bruv? This is like a game." Like, you know what I mean? And there's no. I just want to know what excuse they're gonna bring up for this guy. Because they always say we knew about this guy. Remember in Las Vegas, right? There was a concert and there was a guy with a sniper, and they said they knew about that guy. You know what I mean? And it's always like, whenever it's the white guy, they knew about that guy. You see what I'm saying? Or he's unstable mentally, or whatever excuse they want to bring for the man. But to me, that's just straight terrorism. What this guy's just done. You know what I mean? And he's gonna kill a whole load of people which are praying. You know what I mean? Not doing anything to anyone or anything of that kind. They're just there praying. From now on, if I was out there, I'm praying with my strap. You know what I mean? I'm praying with my Holy Ghost. You know what I'm saying? No. Because if you ain't, like, in America, there was people in the church praying, and then someone came in there again and just lit up everybody in the church. You know what I mean? So now, if you're going to go to a place of worship, you need to be carrying something with you, because if you ain't, you'd be closing your eyes. The next time your eyes is open, you in heaven. You know what I mean? Or hell, wherever it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, guys, do you think it's come to that? Because as you said, the guy. I don't know if anyone's seen the footage, but the guy's documented this like it's a normal day in his life. Really, that he's gone out, he's had his breakfast, he's playing music in the car, he's packed his boot, he's taken the machinery out of his boot, he's walked into a place casually and just started killing. He's killing people for fun. I mean, are we getting to a place now where, as you said, if you're going to a place of worship around the whole world, do we need to then have, I don't know, security? And I don't know, because we live in London, a place where getting to places is so easy.
Yeah.
How many mosques, how many churches we've got here?
I mean, there's loads of everything, but first off, I just want to say rest in peace to all those.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I should have said that in the beginning.
100%. Condolences to everyone involved in that, because that is crazy. Honestly, it's crazy. I mean, sort of, Jay, what do you think? I mean, are we having to sort of employ security now, or is that enough to stop these things from happening, these freak incidents from happening?
Security would definitely be something that every church, mosque, synagogue should look into, because right now we're living in a different world, and I feel like we're fighting a religious war. So people's views and their ignorance, it gets misguided, and then they think that they have to do certain things to other religions or whatever points that they're trying to prove.
Yeah.
And it's just a situation where it's sad loss of life, but so much loss of life at one time for nothing at all. The guy had 3 shotguns, 2 automatic weapons, and then he had like petrol. I don't know if they're petrol bombs, but he was ready for war. But it seemed like in the footage, the people didn't stand a chance, because remember, you're going to a holy place of worship. So everybody's at peace and everybody's calm. And like, there's the reason why the rampage continued, because there was nobody to call the police, because everybody was getting wiped out. That's the thing in life. When you plan for a event like that, you've planned it down to a T. Because if you see the video, he put in his sat nav where he was going. This was organized. So I don't want to hear the media or the news tell me that he had mental problems, because he knew exactly what he was doing when he was taking them lives. And another thing is, how comes this man isn't dead? How comes he never went into a gunfight with the police? And I was, as I was saying to Daniel and Francis earlier, if it's a black man, if it was a Muslim man, they're bringing back the body. So how, after you've killed 49 people, innocent people, and run over a woman after you've killed her, do you put down your guns and everything like that? Because I know if it was a different race in New Zealand that done that to those people, that they're not asking questions, they're shooting to kill first. And if you survive those hail of gunshots and bullets, then they'll talk to you. How do you, as a man, like as a police officer, justify that man still being alive? And then everybody's going to ask for the death penalty. When? Where? How? Do you not think the amount of ammunition and armory that this guy had? And if you look at the guy and the music he's playing and everything he's done, he looked like he was like a military background. So how can the police or the government justify anything? Because if you're hearing about a mass shooting and the news has finally got it right that it was a terrorist attack, because when kids in America murder students and everything like that, and they're of the Caucasian nature, is a mass murder. They're terrorists. Say what it is. Not because of the color of the skin. You change the wording. And with this, I just want to see how the news and media are gonna manipulate this with this guy, because all they're talking about on the news now is social media. Why this shouldn't have been allowed to be streamed? They should look at all the social media sites, and they should have a delay on streaming, because obviously it was streamed live. It's messed up, but the media's are automatically looking straight away. You're looking in the wrong place.
I think Daniel, just before you jump in there, I think I think I woke up to a tweet from some account saying that they're very sorry to hear about what happened and they're working very hard. I think it might be YouTube or something to remove any footage of the shooting. I think I agree with you. They're looking in the wrong place, and I think I actually don't know where to start with this. Really, I'm still shocked by what I saw anyway. But obviously, Daniel, I know you're someone who feels very strongly about what you've seen as well. And I mean, how do you feel how will this situation again change how we all sort of feel about going to these places? Really, stuff that we do on a normal basis, stuff we do every weekend with our families. Really, with little kids are there. People of all ages are worshipping in these places, going expecting to go to a safe place. Really, if anywhere is safe, is a place of a church or it's a mosque. That's what you assume a safe place is. Where it seems now, we're going to a place where we don't even know whether we're going to make it out in one piece or even alive. Really, you know what I mean?
Oh, it's an interesting one, because can you really deep it? If you go to church, you go to a mosque, and then you find two henchmen standing there, and they're going to do a stop and search. Come on. I'm coming to pray. I'm coming to worship. I'm coming to fellowship with my brothers and my sisters. Can you have someone stopping and searching you? It would just be ludicrous. But then how else do you stop these people from committing such crimes? And I think eventually it might evolve to maybe house prayers or house worship. I think people get that afraid, but they'll just keep it in-house and not go out because of the safety of their families. And all this for the sake of religion. And I think that's what's sad. And even more sad is it's innocent people. You see. And then now if there's a reaction, it's going to affect more innocent people. And just like Richard said, it can happen anywhere, anytime. We could be walking past a church or past a mosque, and someone just starts spraying bullets, and then we could be gone.
It might not be bullets. It might just be someone who's wearing something that might explode. When you're doing these crimes, as you said, Jay, people, they plan it. They're strategizing it. He knows, okay, this mosque here, I'm going to go there this time. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. He knows the mosque hasn't got any other exit apart from the front exit where he's standing with the gun. Yeah. You try to attack him, you try to run past him, you're dead. So what other method of exit have you got? What other method? You can't disappear. You know what I mean? You can't disappear. Do you know what I mean? And I think for me, the scary thing for me was them having people were on the floor trying to shield each other from the shootings. You know, because there's nowhere else they could run. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but even if they could run, if you look at the footage, is like the elderly. Like there was one young person that tried to run past them, and he shot he shot and killed him. But like everybody else was like over 45 or like over 45, 50. And he went back and he made sure that they were dead. Then he went back to his car, reloaded, and went back again and emptied the clip in all of them again. Like, that's why I don't really want to hear nothing about him saying that he's got mental problems, because they will put a spin on it, like, for somebody to keep on doing that, to keep on going back and killing and everything like that, he can say, like, I'm mentally ill and everything. I don't want no excuses.
Yeah. I mean, Conrad, I know you're still shocked. I don't think you've actually wanted to watch the footage yet because you're so shocked by it. I mean, what's your take on all of it?
Nah, I didn't care to watch the footage because, like, to be honest, like, it's becoming too common now. Like, you always hear about these types of events. You know, I heard about it through social media, and it's another one of these type of, you know, mass shootings and stuff like that. I just want to know what the people in the media are going to say about who this guy was and what they're going to treat it as. So I'm just sitting back, just patiently, just to see what they're going to say. But yeah, I just think, like, people going to pray, just like going to a safe haven where they go and pray, like, every occasion that they do, and, you know, next thing you know, there's a gunman in there letting off bullets on innocent people. So
yeah. It's crazy because, like, going back to my point again, also know Francis, Daniel, you know, you guys are very heavily involved in churches. We've all been brought up with it, really, haven't we?
Yeah.
In a way, and you know, think of how many years we've been going with our family to these places. Again, it involves young and old people, minors, kids. You know, if a lunatic was to walk into these places and, you know, decides that he wants to have some fun and start killing people, I mean, it's crazy, really. You know, it's just one of the things that you really have to digest to really understand. And I'll go back to putting with the media as well. I mean, they're very quick to jump on the bandwagon of attacks being from a certain religion. So now that religion they're targeting now is now the victim of it. So how are they going to spin on his head? You know, and that's going to be the real sort of, you know, the real eye-opener in terms of how they deal with it. I mean, I don't know, Francis, what have you got to add to it? It's just one of those situations where you're left speechless, really.
Yeah, very speechless, because it's crazy. Like we've all can agree on, you're going to a safe place to pray. No one is really out there praying for nothing negative to happen. You know what I mean? More time you're out there praying for something positive to happen. So positive things were going on in that environment, you know, and then this guy's come around and has done what he's gone and done. Now, can you really prevent something like this from happening? I don't think so. Because the mosque is an open place of worship. The church is an open place of worship. You know, where the synagogue is an open place of worship, you know, so all of these other places, you know, of worship are open places. So you can't have, you know, a stop and check. And even the type of artillery this guy was coming in, he would have killed your security anyway and then gone in to just kill everyone else. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So you can't stop such a person, you know. And I feel like when you're watching the video, it kind of looks like he knew what time he was coming there, because he didn't come for 5 o'clock prayers where there's a lot of people in the mosque, and he could have probably been manhandled to a certain degree.
He might have, because of people, but he would have been stopped eventually.
He would have been stopped. Could have been so many people at that 5 o'clock prayers. You know, this looked like it was one of the morning prayers, you know, or maybe, you know, the afternoon prayers where there isn't so much people there because maybe they're at work or whatever else. You know what I mean? So I just want to see how the media spin this one. You know, because they always find an excuse when it's a Caucasian person, and, you know, oh, he was mentally, like Jay said, he's mentally ill, or, you know, he's got PTSD because he was in the military and he saw so many people die, or, you know, something crazy like that, you know, or one of his, you know, buddies was killed by a Afghani.
There's no excuse. Sorry to interrupt you. There's no excuse for these crimes. Like, there's no excuse. There is no excuse for it. You know what you're doing. You're, like I said before, he's treating like a normal. He's vlogging it. It's a normal day for him.
Yeah,
to go and do
live
this
streaming
stuff.
it.
Yeah, live streaming. Come on,
live
what
streaming
is
it.
this? Do you know,
I mean, people died in real time.
Yeah,
You know, and where was, like Jay said, where was the police?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Because
thinking as well.
if this was any other race, you know, the police would have been there immediately.
But I don't know. Do you think? I don't know. Looking at the footage, it seems to me as if the car park was there, but people were inside of the mosque. So,
Yeah,
what time have you got really to pull out a phone and call someone?
you don't.
Unless someone's, maybe in some cases there might be people sitting in the car who might be. Cause I think there was a guy actually who walked past him.
Yeah, he literally, I mean, if you see someone walk past you with, you know, semi-automatic weapon,
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as that guy walks into that direction, you need to be on your phone.
You used to be running it on your phone.
Yeah, you need to get out there and call the police.
Yeah,
But you know what's crazy these days? The police scared too. Do you understand me? You know, because that's their life on the line as well. So they, I'm not gonna lie, if I'm a police officer, I ain't trying to die.
You are,
You know
but
what I
I
mean?
think when you're going to any sort of job, really, as a police officer, there's an element of risk that you have to be prepared for all scenarios, don't you?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
And
But you know what's crazy? The first point of call is what you would say maybe the regular police. They ain't
this is not
ready to
time for
deal with
regular
that type
police,
of
guys.
that
It's
type of
not.
stuff.
But you see, the regular police are armed. It's New Zealand. They're armed.
Oh,
they've
so
got guns.
they're armed.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've got guns, so therefore they can shoot back. But at the end of the day, you're gonna still the call is going to go off, and you're gonna say, "Listen, I've seen a man. He's gone into a mosque and he's got an automatic rifle, a weapon. Like right now, he's shooting. He's non-stop shooting. That's all you have to say. So therefore, they're gonna dispatch units, and they're gonna any special forces to that." Any SWAT team to that area straight away. The person who could have actually made that phone call was the person that, when he turned in to the gateway in the white suit, he could have made that phone call.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because he let him live.
Yeah.
The gunman actually could have started shooting with him first and then gone in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the reason why he lived, to me, I just think because he wanted the element of surprise. He wanted to get himself ready to walk through. That's why the guy outside on the pavement lived. That was but it was his job. And
to go out
and
there.
if I'm a police officer, I'd want to have a conversation with him because he's still alive.
It's a good point.
Fair point. I think if he did shoot the first man on sight, the people in the mosque would have heard the bullet, would have heard a gunshot, and then that's where panic happens, and then they would have prepped themselves a bit more.
Yeah, because potentially it could have closed the door because that person was by the door. If you look at analyze it, obviously sometimes we sit back and analyze it, but when time is real time, you might thinking what's happening.
Yeah.
So it could have still been the same effect, but it could have been a different result.
But you know, it's weird because, as you said, in an age where everything we see is recorded on our smartphones, we're very quick to get out footage on our smartphones to record something. Whereas when it comes to a time of emergency, we tend to second guess and panic, really. So that's definitely a wake up call for everyone, really. If you're seeing something suspicious, we see all the time, if you see something suspicious, you know, be on the phone to someone, even if you might think it's nothing, but if you think it is something, like, you know, alert someone. Do you know what I mean? Because again, we're very quick out to put something on Snapchat, Instagram Live, all that stuff. When it comes to these things, you know, we always second guess ourselves. Maybe, as you said, Jay, you might be panicked, you might be confused about what's happening. But if you've seen a man going into a mosque with a gun, he's not going there to shake everyone's hand. You know, he's going there to cause some damage to people. Unfortunately, we've got people like this in this world. So, you know, we've got to be really careful.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, again, with this situation is like how people are in like today's society. They wait for something to happen and then they see if they can help. Instead of, for example, if you saw two guys fighting, instead of trying to break up the fight or trying to prevent the fight, one time you see somebody getting ignorant and just trying to calm that person down, right? They would let the two guys fight. One would get knocked to the floor, and the worse of one, one time the guy's finished with him, then a person would go in and say, "Are you alright? Or are you alright? I would have been more right if you helped me to begin with before the fight started."
Yeah.
But it's a mindset.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's left everyone speechless. I mean, what is a punishment for this guy? You know, what does he deserve essentially?
If it's left up to me, this guy needs to die slow.
That's like
This
painful.
guy
He needs to
needs to die.
suffer, really.
I mean, for what he did, I don't agree with no death penalties and all that other stuff because I feel
It's too easy for a death penalty. It's
yeah,
too easy.
it's like he knows this is the result.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but someone like that, I mean, if he is to live, they should make his life a living hell.
Yeah, they should do.
Yeah.
Nobody would disagree with that at all. I mean, guys, what I mean.
But if he goes to when he goes to jail, and if they don't give him death penalty, they will section him, so he wouldn't even be in population. So because anybody that sees him in jail, they will harm him. They've still got rights to protect him. So even though that he's done this now, he's going to be like protected in jail. He'll be like in solitary, where it's just solitary confinement, where it's just him alone. So he will serve his time by himself. He will have his walks by himself. He won't be in general because they will find out what he's done and they will kill him in there. So they'll always keep him like sorry.
I think even sometimes a lot of inmates try to commit suicide as well. Like, you know, and sometimes they try to prevent him from doing that, which I hope in this case they do, because I don't know how old this guy is, but he needs to live out his remaining years of his life in pain, I guess, to feel what. Obviously, people are dead now, but what he's left everyone else with, really, a country itself.
But you have to understand what these guys are doing. Even the white guy who went into the Christian church and he prayed with the people before he turned around and slaughtered them. Right? These people are trying to make names for themselves. So they're trying to go down into their history books. Right? And people are not seeing that. So you have to, that's why I'm saying the media really have to be careful how they talk this story and portray, because remember what these people, because they've got in their mindset, whatever you do to them, they don't care. They're at that stage. So, but they're looking at that. Let me be legendary. Let me leave this. This is going to be in the history books. So my life ain't worth nothing. But now I've done this. I'm a part of history. So, like, you have to really look at it on a bigger scale to where their mindset is.
Yeah, I think just to add on to what Jay mentioned, such people who commit such crimes, I personally feel that they're ready to die.
Yep.
They're ready to die. So for them, it's like, okay, I'm gonna die anyway. Whether the police catch me or whether my enemies catch me, I'm gonna end up dying. So me doing this is worth it.
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna die for nothing. But me doing this is worth it. But I definitely feel he should definitely suffer a lot before anything.
Yeah. I think it's left everyone very shocked and speechless of what to say, I guess. This is literally a tribute really to all the people who died in just New Zealand as well. I mean, they're going through a lot at the moment. I think everyone just hopes that this guy does suffer. We want to see the right punishment. We want to see justice for everyone who died an innocent death. And I think we would have to definitely, I think everyone around the world will be considering, you know, going forward how they can protect people who are going to these safe places in a way, because there'll be more people in mosques next week. There'll be people in churches on Sunday throughout the week as well. How are they going to be feeling? Are they going to be feeling that we live in a world now where we can't go to safe places anymore? You know, as you said, we have to worship from home now. These are all questions that, you know, we've really got to think about, really. But yeah, I think we'll wrap up on this note. It's obviously a sour subject for us to talk about. But again, we want to send our condolences to everyone who's affected by this as well in New Zealand and just around the world, really. And obviously got everyone's thoughts with us as well. And yeah, I think until our next podcast, you know, take care, everyone.